Kid was mad my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
In a shocking twist to the tragic stabbing of 17-year-old star athlete Austin Metcalf, dark new details have emerged, and they suggest this wasn't some heat-of-the-moment act. According to police documents, Karmelo Anthony, also 17, and a fellow student athlete, allegedly came armed to the Frisco track meet. Witnesses say he reached into his bag, warned Austin not to touch him, and then stabbed him once in the chest before fleeing. Now facing a first-degree murder charge, Karmelo's self-defense claim is being torn apart as heartbreaking new witness accounts reveal a story way more sinister. Let's get into it. So this happened on the morning of April 2nd, around 10 a.m. It was supposed to be just another day at the Kendall Stadium north of Dallas. The Frisco Independent School District was holding a district-wide track meet, UIL District 11-5A. Multiple high schools, buses, uniforms, coaches with clipboards, music playing over the loudspeakers, teenagers stretching, laughing, killing time between events. No one expected it to turn into a crime scene. Police were called to the stadium. And when they arrived, what they found was the kind of thing that sticks with you. A 17-year-old boy, Austin Metcalf, lying in a pool of red in one of the tents, bleeding from his chest. He was unconscious and barely breathing. His twin brother, Hunter, was right beside him, crying, screaming, hands pressed to the wound, trying to stop the blood. Paramedics had to pull Hunter off of his brother just to try and save his life. They started CPR. Sirens were blaring. He was rushed to the hospital. Doctors did everything they could to save him. But by 10:53 a.m., Austin was gone. He didn't make it. And while that was happening, while their son was slipping away, Hunter called his parents, screaming, telling them Austin had been stabbed. Their mom, Megan Metcalf, later said it was the kind of call you never imagine getting. The kind that doesn't just break your heart, it shatters your entire reality. The question on everyone's mind was how? Why? According to multiple witnesses, this started over something unbelievably simple. Austin, who went to Memorial High, noticed a student sitting under his school's team tent. That student was Karmelo Anthony, also 17, from Frisco Centennial. If you've ever been to a high school track meet, you know each school has its own little area. You don't go under another school's tent, you just don't. So Austin approached Karmelo and asked him to leave. But instead of getting up and walking off, Karmelo took it personally. He stared Austin down, unzipped his bag, slid his hand inside like he was searching for something, and then he looked Austin dead in the eyes and said, "Touch me and see what happens." That should have been the warning sign, but high school boys, they test each other. They don't back down. And according to witnesses, Austin called that bluff. He reached out and touched him, just a light tap, barely anything, probably thinking it was just some stupid posturing. But it wasn't over. Karmelo didn't snap right away. No, witnesses say he just stared him down and then challenged Austin to fight. Right there in the middle of the track meet, in front of everybody. That's when Austin made his final move. He grabbed Karmelo, trying to push him out of the tent, maybe just to make a point. But it didn't go the way that he planned. Karmelo reached into his backpack again, and this time he pulled out a black knife. Witnesses said he didn't hesitate. He drove the blade straight into Austin's chest. Austin stumbled back, one hand flying to his chest. Blood was already pouring through his fingers. He was still conscious, barely, and pleading for help, telling people to call.
Under our tent at track, we asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab.
Karmelo didn't stick around to help. He threw the knife and took off, but he didn't get far. Police quickly tracked him down near the scene. And as they approached, he didn't deny anything. He looked the officers in the eye and said, "I was defending myself. He put his hands on me." One of the officers placed Karmelo in handcuffs. And when another officer walked up, the first one said that they had the alleged suspect. But Karmelo corrected him and said, "I'm not alleged, I did it." No hesitation, no confusion, just honest. Cold honesty. While walking to the patrol car, Karmelo reportedly broke down and started crying hard, repeating, "He put his hands on me and I told him not to." At one point, he even asked if it would count as self-defense. The officers noticed blood on his finger. Karmelo asked quietly, "Is he going to be okay?" But it was clear that he already knew the answer. Later, the police found the knife, ditched under the bleachers. It was covered in blood. The entire Frisco community was left shaken. People wanted answers. How did something so small turn into something so fatal? Was this truly self-defense or cold-blooded murder? And before all the facts could come out, the community began to divide. People started choosing sides, many along racial lines, and turning a senseless tragedy into something even darker. But to truly understand how it got to this point, we need to look at who these boys were and what brought them to that moment. Austin Metcalf was more than just a name in a headline. He was a son, a brother, a teammate, a twin, the son of Megan and Jeff Metcalf. Austin had an identical twin brother named Hunter, and the two were basically inseparable. From the moment they could walk, they did everything together. Sports, school, life, you name it. They were in it side by side.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him, anything. I do anything for him. It's just really heartbreaking not to see him next year on the field.
Austin was a junior at Memorial High School in Frisco, Texas, and he was a star in every sense of the word. On the football field, he wasn't just another player. He was last season's team MVP. In the classroom, straight A's, a 4.0 GPA. This kid was sharp, athletic, focused, and he was on his way to doing big things. According to his old X account, he was already getting serious looks from college recruiters. Big schools, SEC schools. He even went to a recruiting event for the Arkansas Razorbacks. If you know football, you know SEC is the big leagues for college ball. And on top of that, Austin was a multi-sport athlete. Football wasn't his only game. He also ran track. And on April 2nd, he was out there competing for his school right in his hometown of Frisco, just 40 minutes north of Dallas. His mom, Megan, described him as the most amazing kid.
So smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college.
Coaches echoed that too. They said he was a natural leader, someone who lifted others up. One even said he wanted us to live by a gold standard, and that gold standard was grace. Austin had a bright future, one filled with promise, talent, and heart. And in one horrifying moment, all of it was stolen. And what makes this whole situation even more heartbreaking is that Karmelo had a future too, like a real one. He was the oldest of 3 kids, and from what his dad Andrew says, he wasn't just some aimless teen. He had a 3.7 GPA, worked 2 jobs, Foot Locker and HEB, and still found the time to be the captain of both the football and track teams at his school. That's not small stuff. He was clearly held back on the bigger issue either. He said, "In Texas, everyone has the right to defend themselves if they truly fear for their life. That's the law. There are always 2 sides to every story." As for why Karmelo had a knife on him at the track meet, Howard said they're not ready to share that part just yet. Things got even more complicated when Karmelo's dad was asked about another incident at his son's school back in February. Some kind of fight or assault situation. But it's still unclear whether Karmelo was the one who started it, was the victim, or was just a witness. The school dealt with it quietly, so no real details have come out. Still, his dad painted a picture of Karmelo as a good kid, an A student, captain of both the football and track teams. He's also the oldest of 3 siblings, and before this incident, had never been in trouble with the law. No arrests, no record. During court, Karmelo's defense team pushed hard to get his bond lowered. They argued that a $1 million bond didn't make sense for someone with no criminal record and asked it be dropped to $150,000 with an ankle monitor. Prosecutors pushed back, saying $1 million was actually the standard for murder charges in Collin County. In the end, the judge decided to meet both sides in the middle. He dropped Karmelo's bond from $1 million down to $250,000, but with strings attached. If Karmelo made bail, he had to stay under house arrest at his parents' place and wear an ankle monitor. If he slips up even once, he is headed right back to jail. Austin's father, Jeff Metcalf, broke his silence in an interview. He opened up about the pain of losing his son and how overwhelming the support from the community has been. He said no amount of money could ever bring his child back. But he's focused on taking care of what he still has, especially Austin's twin brother. Jeff also spoke out against people using his son's death to push political or racial narratives online. He called it disheartening and made it clear this wasn't about race for him. Unless you were there and saw it happen, stop spreading gossip, he said firmly. And as for the self-defense claim, Jeff is not buying it. He said he can't understand how something as small as someone asking to move at a track meet could escalate into a stabbing. If you're caught, of course you're gonna lie to save yourself, he said. But the truth will come out. Too many people saw what really happened. Still, in the midst of all the chaos and grief, Jeff shocked a lot of people when he told the media that he forgives Karmelo. He said his faith is what is helping him hold on to that grace. As for Karmelo, he was able to post bail on Monday, April 14th, and he is back at home with his parents for now. But let's be real, this case is far from over. There is still a lot that we don't know, and the conversation around whether this was really self-defense is getting heated. Legal experts have already pointed out that claiming self-defense in a case like this isn't exactly easy, especially since Austin was unarmed. Prosecutors might argue that Karmelo started the whole thing, and if that is the case, the self-defense claim might not hold up. One legal analyst broke it down like this: if you kick something off and then say you were just defending yourself, that doesn't usually fly in court. The defense will probably try to prove that Karmelo was genuinely scared and reacted out of fear, but in Texas, if you're claiming self-defense, the force you use has to be reasonable and proportionate to whatever threat you're facing.
In this situation, the suspect is stating he told the other person pretty much, "Don't touch me." And that person did in fact touch him, and then he pulled out a knife. So yes, maybe there was some issues there where we talked about physical altercations, but that doesn't give you the right or the responsibility to respond back with a knife. It has to be reasonable and proportionate.